you. Hello. How are you feeling today? Good? I feel good as well. And you all look good as well. Self-sabotage. We are all familiar with the name self-sabotage, right? How do we self-sabotage? Last year we set goals, like Coach Mumbi said. We set amazing goals, but we did not go at them. I saw a tweet towards the end of December, and it was saying that I can't even look at my vision board because I did not achieve anything in my vision board. And that's like a reality to most of us. Apart from the people who are always like posting I achieved everything on my vision board, there's also the other side of us, which we're like, we did not achieve what we wanted to achieve that we set on our vision board, right? So self-sabotage is one of those things that holds us back from achieving our goals. As John introduced me, my name is Wangui. I am a master NLP practitioner, embed coach, systemic coach, and family consolator in training. I know those are so many words, but in short, I have learned about the language of the brain, and I help people understand why are they doing what they're doing. And my major interest is self-sabotage, because I was a self-sabotaging queen at some point in my life. But tumekata hiyo maneno sasa. It's 2026, it's a new year, so we're going to do things differently, right? So, what is one of the self-sabotaging habits that you maybe can be able to note from the previous year? Just note it down in your notebook or your phone. Just note it down. One. Just one. The one you feel, if I work on this one, the doors of everything have opened up for me now. I can get them, right? You have it down? Everyone? I want this to be very interactive. Again, for us to be able to experience transformation, just like I tell my clients, there's a little bit of effort that needs to be put, and that means doing something. Just like as Coach Mombi has said, we can set goals, but if you're not doing anything, it's a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a problem. So, you've all written down your self-sabotage on paper, on phone, whatever. So I need one, yes, from each. Just somebody, moja ajitokeleze, atuambie their self-sabotaging habits. I'd love to hear. Self. It's a really important thing. We are all struggling, one way or another, with self-sabotaging habits. So procrastination, number 2. From this, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Mine is unhealthy patterns or habits with drugs, specifically weed.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you. Thank you. Another person from this, a round of applause. Yeah, we love that. We love that. Thank you. Thank you for that. From this row.
Mine is not doing the things I said I do.
Okay, great. Thank you. And from this one?
I would say mine is I don't create time to do what I want. I know what I want to do, but I don't create time to do it.
Thank you. How many of us know what they need to do, but they don't create time? Great. What did you say? Remind me? Not doing the thing that you said you do, which are similar. I'm going to can you give him the mic?
On my end is poor financial judgment. You end up spending money that you have otherwise helped you someone else.
Great. How many of us can relate to that? Haha. 6K kiingia kwa M-Pesa. We didn't do everything other than what we had said we were going to do, right? Great. So let's first start by definitions. That's going to make it very easy for us. So self-sabotage is when we consciously or unconsciously stop ourselves from doing the things that we want to do. And now I'm going to bring 2 terms there, consciously and unconsciously. What do they mean? Consciously, ukijua. Unconsciously, you don't know that you're doing it. So those are the 2 things that I want to bring. And there's something called the subconscious mind. This is the part within us that holds so many stories. Self-sabotaging habits don't happen because we want to. Do you procrastinate because you want to procrastinate? Let's be honest with ourselves. Do you really do it because you want to? Sometimes you do it because you want to? Okay, I'm gonna come back to that because I have something that's probably gonna contradict that, but it's okay. So we do procrastinate, and the subconscious mind is the part. So I have so much. Okay, let me take it slow. Okay. So this is your mind. And then we have, it's divided like that. What? 95% of why we're doing what we're doing is because of this. Subconscious. It's not conscious, it's subconscious. So, as Coach Mumbi was saying, we have a goal, right? Now someone tell me an example of a goal. I want to work with one person throughout the whole time. So, one person, nani atajitokelezea? Thank you. What is your goal?
My name is Bridget Musango, and my goal is to become a global moderator.
Global moderator. Oh, okay. So that is a very conscious goal, right? You know what it is you want to do. Great. Global moderator. Right? Okay. Great. So you want to be a global moderator. And also with all the goals that you've said, they're very conscious. You know them by heart. I know I want to buy a car, I want to move out, I want to lose weight, I want to build a house. All these goals, right? Very conscious. When did you set this goal? Is it this year or is it the goal that has been going on for a long time?
Definitively this year. It's just been lingering for that, I guess.
Okay, cool. So, question to you is, knowing that you want to be a global moderator, what are the stories you're telling yourself about being a global moderator?
So there are two. One, because I've always been a public speaker, a part of my mind says it's possible.
Okay.
Two, when I look at people who do global moderation from icons that I love and follow, like George Rango, they have a background in journalism and communication. However, I'm a final year student studying telecommunication and information engineering. So my track is tech, but I have this passion of public speaking and global and moderation. So a part of my mind says you can't get there because the people who are there didn't do what you did or you're currently doing. They did this thing that you're not pursuing currently. So that those are the two conflicting thoughts in my mind.
Okay, great, thank you. So, when it comes to the subconscious mind is 95% of why we're doing what we're doing. It has the stories, it has the beliefs, it has literally everything. And from today, I want you all to know that motivation, what does Mel Robbins say? Motivation is garbage. It's not something to be relied on. Really, it's not. Motivation is like an emotionally unavailable person. It's there today, and then tomorrow is like, sorry, I don't want to talk about it. So it's really not something to be dependent on. And that's why it's really important for us to dive into here, the 95%, right? So sometimes we have conscious self-sabotage, and sometimes we have unconscious. So, what's your name? Selena. Selena said that sometimes she procrastinates because, right? And then there's the other people who say, no, it's not that I want to procrastinate, but I find myself procrastinating. Those are two types of self-sabotage. Consciously, I could know what I am doing, but then there is the unconscious part. And then later you come and say, oh my God, I've been procrastinating, I procrastinated. Because I also want to ask you, with your self-sabotaging habits, do you notice it when it's happening or do you notice it after the effect? Both? Both. So when it's happening and also after effect. After it's happened, then you're like, I played small, I did not speak up, or whatever it is that you self-sabotage tactic is, right? So we all have a childhood, right? We all come from somewhere, and we all have interacted with trauma in one way or another, right? And I know sometimes people are like, therapy. No, that's not the case. But it's very important for us to acknowledge that even birth, in and of itself, the act of birth is literal trauma, right? Now, I'll give you a little bit of a story of mine, and just to kind of show you what self-sabotage looks like. So being a firstborn, one of my self-sabotaging habits was playing small. Since I was very, very young, playing small was like my little nice tactic to play. Like Mumbi said, in the corner, don't call me, don't do anything. Anyone who's been to USIU? Yeah. Ooh, okay, cool. You know USIU is all about presentations, right? I never liked those things. I'm like, God damn it, why do we have to present? Like, I know what you're teaching me. Why do I have to, right? But the thing is that I had a story that was here. A story about the fact that I'm not interesting. I'm not interesting. So why do I need to speak up? Nobody needs to listen to me. I mean, see, we've moved on with life. Niko hapa, why do I need to speak, right? So now, coming into the outside world, being a pharmacist, life is moving on, right? And then I'm like, this is not it. I want to be a coach. Being a coach needs you to be out there. So it needs me to speak. It needs me to show up on social media. Yeah, Kizungu Mkuti. It was like, it's hard. It's like, and here's the thing, and that's why I'm so proud of you guys for investing in yourself. It's really important to invest in yourselves. I paid so many business coaches, and guess what all of them told me? They told me the same thing. Show up online. Tell your story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm like, yes. And after the call, I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it. And I live there, and I'm not, please, nobody, I'm not saying that don't go to business coaches. Please do, right? That's not what I'm saying. Invest in yourself, go to the business coach. I'm just trying to say there's a story here. So with me, it did not work. The thing is that it would work, and I'm a very consistent person, but I would do it for only like 3 to 4 days. 5th day, I'm back to posting my journals, just the hand in the journal. I'm like, yeah, they will buy, right? Conscious mind was able to understand, I need to post. I need to do. But what was holding me back? The subconscious mind had a story. It had a belief. I'm not interesting. Why the hell do I need to speak? It's not worth it. So what happens? I would never be able to be as consistent as I would have loved to be because of this story. And that's what I want us to be able to understand today with the self-sabotaging habit that you've written down. What is the story? What is this belief? What is the story? And a belief is just a story you're telling yourself that now has become like now your thing. You believe in it. Who told me I'm not interesting? I'm not sure if anything. Nobody told me that. And again, trauma is what you experience, childbirth, for example, yeah. Or if you experience being beaten, that's trauma. But trauma is also what was not given to you that you needed. So if as a kid you needed attention but you did not get it, that's a little bit of trauma, right? And also it could be interpretation of what is happening to me. What am I interpreting what is happening to me? So that is how my trauma came about, right? I interpreted mom and dad being very busy, being that I'm not interesting. So it wasn't directly inflicted on me, but it happened, right? So 95% of why we're doing what we're doing is because the stories are here in our subconscious mind. There's something else also called the upper happiness limit, right? And it's something that happens, which is so interesting. So I'm going to give an example that we can all relate to. So if you get into a really good relationship, you get a partner, and I communicate. If you're a girl, nakupeleka date every week, buying you flowers every other time. Okay, some of you may say it's love bombing, maybe it's not. But hey, they're just doing the healthy things that are needed for a relationship to grow. If you're not used to that, what happens? What happens? Please tell me what happens in that relationship. Will you see the end of it, or you'll be out? It's too peaceful, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to leave, right? You'll start having a story about it. What is going on here? Ama, all those things, right? It's the same thing with life. We have an upper happiness limit. We can only experience an amount of happiness in Atshana. And if it goes above that, we self-sabotage and we get ourselves back to the limit. Yeah, it's a thing. And I want you to be aware of it. Have you noticed yourself either sabotaging just when things are going really well? You find yourself doing everything wrong. You get a new job, and then, have you seen those memes? The person, I need to look for the words. Mwenye aliombea, who's the person who said in the interview they can work well under pressure? Is really not doing well, right? Exactly, right? So it's one of those things. Upper happiness limit. If you're used to earning 50K, and then all of a sudden, you get yourself earning 200K. Do you know what happens? Is that you'll find yourself using the 150K to get yourself to the normal limit that you're used to, the 50K. Right? And it's also that story that we all hear. Oprah used to love it. You know, when someone gambles and then they get money, they lose that money as soon as they get it. It's the same thing. If you're not used to it, you bring yourself back to the level that you can you can manage. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, upper happiness limit. Has anyone noticed they have an upper happiness limit? Yeah? Good. That's a good thing to notice. Number 2 is I want you to be able to sit in the discomfort of being happy. Sit in that relationship that is too healthy for you. Sit in that job that is too nice for you. Allow yourself to have nice things. Allow yourself once in a while to have nice things. Again, it's a way to regulate your nervous system towards being able to have good things. Because you already now have the awareness, there's something called an upper happiness limit. Right? Okay. Hey, we sabotage because of so many things. Either we are afraid of change, low self-worth. How many of us have a fear of success? Fear of success? And the funny thing about those stories, thank you so much for sharing that, is that the stories sound logical. They make sense, especially in the way we've been brought up. Like it makes sense. Okay, you become a successful lawyer, and then what? What if all your clients ghost you? There's a story, right? And it makes sense. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. But does it really make sense? Is it really true? Is it really true? If you think about it, is it really true? Again, it is. Again, I want you to, it's okay to be realistic, but I also need you to be able to understand there's a story because she's not even started. You can be worried about it when you started. Now you're outside and you're already worried. So what are we doing? It's okay to be worried whilst you're inside, but then being worried outside, that's the self-sabotage story. That's the 95% doing its job, right? Okay. Did you write down your self-sabotaging habits on your phone or book? Great. So, procrastination could be because of fear of failure or success. This is not definitive, right? These are just examples. Perfectionism. How many of us struggle with perfectionism? My perfectionists, please raise your hands. Oh, I know. Perfectionism is actually because of the thought process of if it's not perfect, it's not worthy, right? It doesn't need to be seen. It needs to be perfect. Now, what's perfect, first of all? You know what he said? Isn't that just a story? Overthinking, staying in analysis mode, analyzing everything. Everything has to be analyzed instead of doing anything, right? People pleasing, people pleasers, people pleasing. Yeah? Oh, yeah. We all have a little bit of that. Avoidance. So we delay doing anything, we skip workouts. The subconscious mind is protecting you from discomfort. The reason as to why I'm bringing up the subconscious mind, and I really, really want you to be able to, if there's anything you're going to leave here with, is know that the reason as to why there's a self-sabotaging habit is because there's a story behind that self-sabotage behavior or habit. There's a story. The logic trap. It's when the self-sabotage looks like rational thinking. I'll start on Monday. Now is not the right time. It's December. I'll start on a Monday, and I need more research before I start. Not applying for a job you want, right? So the logical reasoning is I just need to take one more course before I'm truly qualified to apply for that thing that you want to apply for. The subconscious truth, there's a fear of rejection there, right? Because is it true? Anyway, imposter syndrome, or also the discomfort with success. And we've all been able to notice that most of us are actually afraid of success. I actually tend to think that we don't fear failure, we fear success. Because what will success do? It will need us to become a different person altogether. And my favorite quote, I'm just going to read it to you because I have it here on my phone. So my favorite book that I have, and it says, your new life is going to cost you your old one. It's going to cost you your comfort zone and your sense of direction. And it's going to cost you relationships and friends. So if you become a successful lawyer, are you afraid you're going to lose some friends because now you're successful? I mean, think about it. I've heard that as well from a lot of my clients. So what happens if I become this person? That means I lose a couple of my friends. Again, it's a story that is keeping you stuck in the same place, right? It's going to cost you being liked and understood, but it doesn't matter. This is what I want you to leave here with. The people who are meant for you are going to meet you on the other side. You're going to build a new comfort zone around the things that actually move you forward. Instead of being liked, you're going to be loved. Instead of being understood, you're going to be seen. All you're going to lose is what was built for a person you no longer are. Remaining attached to your old life is the first and final act of self-sabotage. And releasing it is what we must prepare for to truly be willing to see real change. So, at the core of why we self-sabotage is a fear, and I know this because with most of my clients, it's a fear of who do I become? Who do you become when you become a global moderator? You know that life has to change in one way or another, right? Right? A lot of the things that you do have to shift as well. The way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the people you engage with, the things you do, they will have to change. And that is one of the most common fears that we have. That who do I become? If I become that thing that, if I maybe stop the drug, who do I become on the other side? Do I lose the clique of people that I hang out with? Does that mean I become lonelier? Again, these are all human fears. It's okay to be fearful of them, but then I want you to question and ask yourself, at what cost? Because as we're saying, on the other side is that you're going to find people who are going to understand you, who are going to like you, On this side of me being a coach, I did not know John. I did not know Mommy, and I didn't know Lorraine. I didn't know youth. I didn't know the people here at Youth Plus. It is what it is. Like, you have to jump and then see. But the other side of holding yourself is a logic trap, where you think that there's something else. Like, I'll start on Monday. I need to just do one more course. I think there's a question Coach Mombi asked. What was it when she left and everyone raised her hand? Is it how many people have wanted to open a business? Or what did he? Was that the question? Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, no worries. Okay, so I want us to be able to, first of all, be able to look between logic versus self-sabotage. You remember her example? If I become a successful lawyer and all of that, and I was asking you, is it really true? And you were saying it can't be true, right? That is logic, but it's after she's jumped. Before, it's self-sabotage. Because you first have to jump and then think, oh, wait, okay, now how did all these clients go? Now, you will know how to figure it out after. But there's something called a paradox with the brain. And so if you're here and you want to achieve something, right? So, for example, you want to be a global moderator. This is your goal. This is who you want to be. There's something called a paradox. And a paradox is where our brain keeps us safe. And by the time you live here, and I'm sure you all know, the work of the brain is to keep you safe. It's literally about survival. If you think about our people who came before us, survival was everything. Right? Those guys had to be up and at it, right? If they hear something in the thicket, they have to run for their life. That's the same brain, right? Now that brain, its work is to keep us safe. So in and of itself, you have to remember that the brain is trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you where you know. It's trying to keep you in the same area. If you've worked somewhere, then it keeps you safe. You know the route. You know when it's not. It's safe. It's repetitive. You're sure of what is going to happen, right? So if you want to be a global moderator, or let me actually use your example because I remember it very clearly, is you want to open a farm. You want to become a lawyer, right? So this is you standing here, and you want to become a lawyer, right? No, wait, you want to become a lawyer. But then again, there's a story you're telling yourself, which is, please give her the mic again so that she can remind me her story, so that it can be easy for us to work around it. Yeah. So what's the story? Yes.
What's the story?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm halfway. I'm like 25-ish.
Okay.
But now taking the next step after that, it's like I'm keeping myself in this small circle. Like I'm capping my happiness, like you say, like capping, like my limit is this, so I can't do this. But inside, I know I can like do so much more, and like get my own make it more consistent for me because I don't want to reach to fire, but actually do what I really want, which is intellectual property. And there isn't, like, most practice is traditional, so I'm trying to find myself, and there's very few success stories, even from other people. So yeah, that's everything.
Okay. By what we're saying about the paradox is the brain comes up with a story. You really want the success, but you're not doing anything about it. For example, not saying you're not, you are. So you find yourself procrastinating to do that thing that you need to do. You find yourself playing small. You find yourself doubting yourself, not speaking up in the boardroom. Yet you want a promotion. But because you want the promotion, there's also a story on the other side of the promotion. What if I am demoted? What if I mess up? What if I don't know what to do? What if? So what happens? You stay in the same place. It's a paradox. You stay there, you stay stuck. You have a story of what happens. She says she's the eldest cousin, and there's a, you're supposed to show, you're supposed to be. But the thing is that the brain is playing a trick. You haven't even gotten there yet. So it's still keeping you here. So you're afraid of it, but you haven't even done it. So it's like, the question I want you to ask is, what are you really afraid of? What are you really afraid of about, jumping, doing the thing that you need to do, speaking up, not doubting yourself? Wait, is there anything? Oh yes, hey, this one. Logic actually is about growth, and it's not about anything else. So it's about, I know what I need to do. As a global moderator, the logic is, I need to do 1, 2, 3. When it comes to fear, it will keep you stuck in the same place, and it will not explore the global moderator dream that you've had for a really long time. Logic is neutral. I'm going to do it. But then again, self-sabotage is emotionally charged with fear, doubt, avoidance. Logic will open doors, but self-sabotage will shut them even before you open them. So it's like, you want to become successful, but before you even become successful, you doubt yourself, you criticize yourself, you overthink, you become a perfectionist, so it's closing the door, right? Logic says I need more information, which makes sense, I need to do more. So I'll research for an hour, and then I'll start. But what self-sabotage says is I need more info. Then you research for months without taking any action. Now that's self-sabotage. Okay. Remember the self-sabotaging habit you had written down somewhere? Right? Okay. Okay. This is what I want us to look at. Self-sabotage is your best friend. From today, I am preaching and I'm saying, self-sabotage is your best friend. And this is what I mean by that. Self-sabotage is your subconscious mind sees self-sabotage as self-preservation. If you don't talk, then, you don't have the story that you have in your head that people might find you not interesting. Okay, like it's self-preservation. It's about keeping you safe and in the same place. So it's not bad. It's doing its job. It's doing its job from here. Not here, here. And remember, 95% of why we're doing what we're doing is because of the stories we have about ourselves. So if you think about self-sabotage habits, it's not about it doesn't want you to achieve your goal. It actually wants, but it doesn't know anything else. It knows the story that it has been fed for a really, really long time. And this subconscious mind is usually formed between the ages of 0 to 7, or even as younger as we go. But it has the stories, the early stories that we have. So, self-sabotage is your friend, but in a backward way. It's not a good friend. Yule beshte anakuita mwende mkakunywe or whatever. But it also wants you to have fun, right? So it's your friend, but in a backward manner. And I'm going to show you how, because I'm sure you're all wondering, how is it my friend? Right? Okay, I had an example. Yeah, so this is a good example. But I'm going to even give you an example from my clients that I work with. So I had a client who was really struggling with procrastination. After looking at it and being able to go deeper, they were procrastinating on doing the things that they need to do in their work. And by us being able to understand what the procrastination was doing for them, we came to the understanding that she is afraid of failure. And why is she afraid of failure? Because her business failed sometime in 2020. And so her body keeps a score. Her nervous system is stuck on that story. I will fail again. And I don't want to do it again. Right? Let's do this. Promise I'm about to be done. Don't get bored with me. She was able to recognize that she's afraid of failure because of what? Her business failed in 2020. So what is happening here? Her body is stuck in freeze mode in that particular instance. When we experience significant events in our life, right, our psyche splits into three. It splits into the healthy part, the survival part, and the trauma part. Now, this survival part is the one that has all our strategies, our self-sabotaging strategies. And the self-sabotaging strategies are the ones that you've written down. We're going to do an exercise before we finish. But I need to remind you, we have an exercise together. So there's a survival part, has the self-sabotaging strategies. The survival part is the strategist. It comes up with the best ways to be able to help us cope with everything or anything in our life. Remember, the work of the brain is to do what? To survive. Great. Tell me again, the work of the brain is to? Survive. Thank you. So it has to come up with survival strategies, right? So I'm going to use the client who is doing what? Procrastinating is her survival strategy, right? So procrastination is her survival strategies. Why is it here? The strategist is here to protect this part. It works for this one. It works for the trauma part. Because the brain is about survival and safety. The brain doesn't want you to feel bad. That's not the work of the brain. The brain doesn't want to make you feel bad. No. The brain wants you to stay okay, because if you're okay, then we're okay. It doesn't have to fire everything and everyone and alert everybody. So let's keep it safe. Let's keep it safe. So her procrastination was doing what? Was working for the trauma that she had, which is what? The business that failed in 2020. Okay? Because of the business that failed in 2020, she started feeling like a failure. She started feeling like she cannot do it anymore. So what happens? Procrastination. So she's not able to do what it is she needs to do. She has a business, she knows she needs to do 1, 2, 3, but she's not doing it. Because of this. What I want us to do today is I want us to be able to start working and building this, the healthy part within us. The healthy part is the one that has brought you all here. Woohoo! Yeah, so we need to build this part, the healthy part, right? The survival part, your habit that you wrote down, is doing something for you. With all this, what I'm going to tell you guys, I would really, really like you to be a bit more conscious and a bit more self-sabotaging habit. Go deeper than you have gone before in your life to understand what is this thing trying to work so hard for me? What is it doing for me? What is it working so hard to achieve for me? Please do that. That's the magic. That's everything. When I understood that my not wanting to show up on social media is because I'm afraid of what will people say, yada yada, I'm not interesting, trauma, eh? When I understand that, everything starts clicking. Because, as someone said there, they say that they're lazy. No one is lazy. We just have mechanisms that are not allowing us to do the things that we want to do. We can all be, but we're not because of stories. This is a story, right? So you have the self-sabotaging habit that you wrote down. Sit upright. This is my favorite exercise. So buckle up. Anyway, breathe in through your nose, out through your nose or mouth. And please close your eyes. I'm not doing anything, guys. I'm just leading. Okay. So breathe in. And I want you to bring yourself to the current present moment. And I want you to take note of my voice. And take note of your breathing as well. And as you're breathing in and out, I want you to bring the self-sabotaging habit that maybe held you back in 2025 or you know that is holding you back. And then I want you to scan your body from head to toe. And I want you to locate where you can feel the self-sabotaging habit showing up for you. And place your hand there. Trust yourself. Great. And I want you to note how you feel. How does your body feel? Just notice how your body feels. As you're here, then I want you to hold this, and I want you to paint an image of this feeling outside of your body. What image comes up for you that is a representation of this self-sabotaging habit? What does it look like? Is there any scent, any taste, any sound, any texture? And as it's here, and it's outside your body, I want you to ask it, what are you trying to do for me that you keep on showing up every single time? What are you doing for me? And trust that the answer will come. And as the answers are coming up for you, ask it even further. Is there anything more important than this that you're trying to protect me from? And then I want you to be able to thank this part for coming up and showing up because it really wants you to succeed. I want you to thank it. I want you to breathe in and out. I want you to trust yourself. Then now you know why this self-sabotaging habit has been showing up for you. It's been working extremely hard for that particular thing. And when you're ready, I want you to gently and slowly come back to the present moment and open your eyes. Welcome back. How was that for you? Intense? Okay. We love that. We're doing the work now. We're doing the work. That's the work. That's the work that helps us move the needle. That's what I want you guys to do. Because that is what helps us. In as much as we want to set goals, come up with vision boards, at the core of it, we need to understand why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we not getting those things that we want to get? Because there's a story. And we cannot start ignoring this. It's impossible. We all know the body keeps the score. The nervous system we have is the same one we've had all through our lives. If we don't work, if we don't regulate it, it becomes hard. And then we start beating ourselves up for it. Okay? Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I hope that was good for you. Please write down whatever it has told you it wants to. If you want us to have a chat after, look for me. Bye.